why you need a thermometer, an infrared one specifically. This one is a probe to stick in the meat, and it also has the buttons to shoot down and do an infrared comes out of there. So this is actually my favorite thermometer because it does both, and you should have a probe and an infrared, but we're going over infrared right now. So I've cooked over 200 meals on my griddle. I've spent 15 years in food service, including 2 years working at Bob Evans, which is a diner in the Midwest. And I still take my infrared thermometer out every single time that I start up this griddle or one of my other griddles. That's how important I think it is for every griddle cook. And here's why. Different foods need to be cooked at different temperatures. Here's a chart that is in the ebook, which came with this course, and it goes over what temperatures I like to cook what foods at. Also, I've attached another copy of the ebook down below this, again, in case you didn't download it already or you're jumping around through different videos. So there's a lot of stuff on the chart because I wanted to be thorough when I wrote the ebook, but also I don't want to overload people, especially with this course. So here's an easy general outline that hopefully you can remember that will mean you don't need to bring the chart out to the griddle. But some people have printed the chart off and brought it out to the griddle. But here's the easy general outline. It's EGS, eggs, but only one G, eggs. So E actually is for eggs and omelets, which are at 300 to 325 degrees. We'll start with the lower temperatures. This is where you're going to cook all your eggs and omelets. This is one of the first things they taught me when I started working as a manager at Bob Evans. If you go higher, they're going to burn on the bottom too quickly before you can flip them or before they cook all the way through. This is a very common mistake with a residential griddle. So you want to keep your eggs and omelets low. So that's why the E at 300 to 325 is for eggs and omelets. Other things are on the chart at this low of a temperature, but I wouldn't really worry about them. That's a preference thing for me right now. So I'm not even going to mention them because I just want to keep this simple. E for eggs, 300 to 325. G is for general cooking, which is at 350 to 400. This is where you want to be for 90% of the time. I shoot for 375, knowing that some areas of the griddle may be a little higher or lower. This is your pancakes, potatoes, veggies, most meats, bacon, sausage, all that stuff. Pretty much everything except the eggs are cooked around 375 to 400. And then the other things that go higher, so the eggs are lower, general cooking's in the middle, higher is the S in EGS, which stands for searing. So 425 and above, you can go all the way up to 500, but that's searing, S. Well, it could be searing, S could be for smash burgers, or it could be for steak, I guess. That helps you remember the S. But generally speaking, it's for searing. Because you could also sear chicken pretty high if you would like to just get, the outside seared. But then you're going to want to drop temperature eventually, or else you'll burn the outside before you get the middle cooked. But I digress. So S is for searing. I'm going to go up to 450 for my smash burgers, get a nice crust on my steak, and occasionally, I don't want to confuse people, but occasionally I'll do fried rice above 400 just because so much rice on the griddle top will drop the temperature back down to about 375. So EGS, eggs and omelets at 3 to 325, general cooking at 350 to 400, and searing at 425 plus all the way up to 500 if that's where you want to get to. Now that we know the different temperatures that we want the griddle to be at for different cooks, why do we need the thermometer? Why don't we just do medium, low? Why don't we just throw those out there and say eggs on low and general on medium and steaks on high, searing on high? Well, it's for a couple reasons. Different griddles get to different temperatures. So medium on my Camp Chef right here behind me may not be medium on a Blackstone or a Traeger or a Weber. Those could be different temperatures. Also, as of right now, when I'm making this video, I'm aware that there are 2-burner, 3-burner, 4-burner. I think the Members Mark is a 5-burner, and there's a Camp Chef 6-burner residential griddle, 2 through 6 burners. So medium on a 2-burner, both burners on medium, is not going to be the same as medium on the 6-burner Camp Chef, all 6 burners on medium. There's more burners, there's more heat coming up through there. So that's the second reason. The third reason, final reason, is that the outside temperature and the time of year. There's griddles all over the world. I have people commenting all over the world that they have a griddle and they're cooking on it. So who knows when or where they're cooking on it, you know? Medium on your griddle in Canada in October is not going to be the same temperature as medium on your griddle in Florida in July. Could be the exact same griddle. Could be this griddle, but you don't know. It could change because you have the outside air, where in restaurants they're inside and conditioned air. So that's why you need the thermometer, okay? So you can see what your temperature is that day on that griddle.